city of legends, echoing kings and warriors on streets, and where centuries of history unfold before your very eyes. This is Krakow, the ancient heart of Poland, a city so rich in heritage and beauty that it feels less like a destination and more like a living time machine. It's a place where the Middle Ages collide with modern energy, where the spirit of resilience and grandeur is woven into every tower, square, and cathedral. If Poland is a storybook, Krakow is its most enchanting chapter, inviting you to get lost in its tales. The first thing that captures you is Rynek Główny, Krakow's main market square. Stretching wide and vibrant, it is not just the largest medieval square in Europe, but also one of the most breathtaking. As you stand in the middle, you feel the pulse of the city, the blend of past and present. On one side, St. Mary's Basilica rises high, its twin towers uneven yet magnificent. From its spires comes the haunting melody of the Hedgenow, a trumpet call played every hour, cut short mid-note in memory of a legend from centuries ago when a watchman was shot while warning the city of an invasion. On the other side stands the Cloth Hall, where merchants once traded exotic goods from every corner of the world. Today, it remains a vibrant hub, alive with stalls, crafts, and the hum of people embracing the same square that generations before them once did. But Kraków is more than just a beautiful square. It is a royal city. Rising proudly above the skyline is Wawel Hill, crowned with Wawel Castle and the cathedral. This was the seat of Poland's kings for centuries, a place where coronations, weddings, and burials of monarchs took place. Walking through its halls feels like stepping into the pages of European history. The golden dome of the Sigismund Chapel glimmers under the sunlight, a jewel of Renaissance architecture. Within the cathedral rests the heart of Poland, quite literally, with the tombs of kings, national heroes, and poets. It is not just a landmark, it is a symbol of identity, pride, and resilience for the Polish nation. As you wander the streets leading down from Wawel, you'll find yourself in Kazimierz, Krakow's historic Jewish quarter. Once home to a thriving community, it still carries the weight of history, both beautiful and tragic. Today, Kazimierz is a district of contrasts. Its synagogues stand as solemn guardians of the past, while its streets are alive with cafes, art galleries, and music. At night, the area glows with life, offering a blend of soulful klezmer music, modern artistry, and vibrant energy. It is here where the stories of the past meet the creativity of the present, making it one of Krakow's most compelling neighborhoods. Beyond the well-known landmarks, Krakow is also a city of hidden corners and intimate beauty. Walk down Grodzka Street, one of the city's oldest thoroughfares, and you'll feel the weight, centuries under your feet. Slip into quiet courtyards, where ivy climbs across ancient stone walls, and suddenly the bustling city feels worlds away. Sit at a cafe and watch as locals and travelers alike embrace the rhythm of life here. The charm of Krakow is not just in its monuments, but in its atmosphere, romantic, mysterious, and endlessly alive. And then there is the art and intellect that has long flourished here. Krakow is home to Jagiellonian University, one of the oldest in Europe, where great minds like Nicolaus Copernicus once studied. Its courtyards echo with the footsteps of scholars from across the centuries, a reminder that this city has always been more than stone and mortar. It has been a cradle of thought, culture, and discovery. As evening falls, the city takes on a magical glow. The market square is bathed in golden light, the sound of street performers fills the air, and horse-drawn carriages roll slowly across the cobblestones. Lanterns flicker in Kazimierz, while the Vistula River reflects the shimmering lights of Wawel Castle. It's a scene that feels timeless, as if the city itself has decided to pause, inviting you to savor every detail. Krakow is not just a place to visit, it's a place to feel. It's the warmth of pierogi, shared in a local restaurant, the somber silence in the shadow of history, the joy of music spilling out from the square, and the awe of standing in front of architecture that has witnessed centuries. It is Poland's soul, beating strong through the ages, welcoming every visitor into its embrace. When you leave Krakow, you don't just take photos, you carry with you stories, emotions, and a sense of having touched something eternal. It's the kind of city that lingers in your heart long after you've walked its streets, calling you back again and again. And as we continue this journey across Poland, remember that this was the beginning, a city of kings, legends, and unshakable beauty, forever standing as the crown jewel of the nation. What if I told you there is a city that has been destroyed and rebuilt not once, not twice, but countless times, and still, it stands today as one of Europe's most vibrant capitals. A city where resilience is not just a word, but a way of life. This is Warsaw, the beating heart of Poland. A city scarred by war, tested by fire, and yet reborn from the ashes, stronger and more determined than ever. To walk its streets is to walk through tragedy, defiance, and triumph all at once, a living testament to the unbreakable spirit of the Polish people. At first glance, Warsaw feels different from Krakow. It is larger, more modern, and more dynamic. Skyscrapers pierce the sky, neon lights reflect on glass buildings, and wide boulevards hum with energy. Yet beneath this modern facade lies a story unlike any other. During World War II, nearly 85% of Warsaw was reduced to rubble. Entire neighborhoods vanished, landmarks crumbled, and its people faced unimaginable horrors. But Warsaw did not surrender. Out of destruction came determination, and what you see today is a city that rose from nothing, painstakingly rebuilt by its citizens brick by brick. This is why Warsaw is not just a capital, it is a symbol of hope and resilience. The best place to feel this spirit is the Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ironically, it is one of the youngest old towns in the world. After the war, it was rebuilt with incredible precision using old paintings, sketches, and photographs. Walking through its cobblestone streets feels like stepping back in time, even though what you see is the result of one of the greatest reconstruction projects in history. Colorful townhouses line the market square, their facades alive with charm and history. Cafes spill into the square, where musicians play and children chase pigeons. In the distance, the royal castle stands proudly, its red walls glowing in the sunlight, reminding us that Warsaw's heritage could never truly be erased. But Warsaw is not a city that hides its scars. At the Warsaw Uprising Museum, the story of the city's darkest days unfolds. It tells of the 1944 uprising, when ordinary men and women rose up against Nazi occupation in a desperate fight for freedom. The rebellion was crushed, and the city was left in ruins, but their courage is immortalized here. This museum is not just history, it is emotion. A place where you can hear voices, see faces, and feel the heartbeat of a nation that refused to be silenced. Yet Warsaw is not only about survival, it is also about reinvention. The city pulses with creativity and culture. The Palace of Culture and Science, a towering skyscraper gifted by the Soviet Union, still dominates the skyline. Once controversial, today it stands as both a reminder of the past and a hub of theaters, museums, and cinemas. Nearby, modern towers glitter with the confidence of a new Poland, signaling progress and ambition. And then there is music, the soul of Warsaw. This is the city of Fryderyk Chopin, Poland's most famous composer. His spirit lingers in the air, from the Chopin Museum to summer concerts in Łazienki Park, where his timeless melodies echo through gardens filled with statues, lakes, and wandering peacocks. To sit under the trees, listening to Chopin's music, is to connect with Warsaw in its most poetic form, a blend of beauty, melancholy, and inspiration. Warsaw also surprises with its green spaces. Despite its urban energy, the city is dotted with parks, gardens, and peaceful corners. Łazienki Park, with its palace on the Isle, feels like an escape into a dream. A world of elegance where history whispers through the trees. Wilanów Palace, often called the Polish Versailles, dazzles with its Baroque beauty and royal grandeur, offering a glimpse into the golden age of Poland's nobility. As day turns into night, Warsaw transforms again. The boulevards along the Vistula River come alive with lights, music, and laughter. Modern bars and cafes buzz with energy, while bridges illuminate the water below. The skyline glows, a blend of history and modernity, resilience and ambition. It is a sight that tells you Warsaw is not just living, it is thriving. What makes Warsaw unforgettable is not just its landmarks, but its spirit. It teaches you that beauty can be rebuilt, that culture can flourish even after devastation, and that resilience is the truest form of strength. Every square, every street, every monument tells a story of a city that refused to stay down. Leaving Warsaw, you carry more than memories of a capital, you carry inspiration. This is not a city defined by what it lost, but by what it gained through perseverance. It is Poland's phoenix, rising from fire, and today, its wings spread proudly over the nation. Warsaw is not just a destination, it is an experience of survival, hope, and rebirth. What if I told you there is a city where every street corner whispers tales of rebellion, trade, and freedom? A city where Gothic churches cast long shadows over cobblestone alleys, where colorful merchant houses line the waterfront, and where history has shifted the fate of nations. This is Gdansk, the jewel of the Baltic coast. To explore Gdansk is to unravel centuries of triumphs and struggles, a story that is as dramatic as it is inspiring. Unlike Warsaw or Krakow, Gdansk has always been a city that looks outward to the sea. Its heart beats with the rhythm of waves, its spirit shaped by sailors, merchants, and dreamers who arrived from every corner of Europe. For centuries, it was a member of the Hanseatic League, a powerful network of trading cities that dominated the Baltic and North Seas. The wealth from this trade left behind architectural treasures that still dazzle visitors today. As you walk along the Royal Way, the main route through the old town, you are greeted by ornate facades, intricate sculptures, and the unmistakable vibrancy of a city that has always been a crossroads of cultures. One of the most iconic symbols of Gdansk is the crane, a massive medieval port crane that stands proudly on the Motława River. Built in the 15th century, it once lifted heavy goods like masts and barrels, making it a marvel of engineering in its time. Today, it remains a reminder of the city's seafaring soul. The waterfront itself is alive with cafes, restaurants, and boats gliding by, creating a perfect blend of history and modern charm. Sit here at sunset, and you'll see how the golden light transforms the colorful townhouses into a living painting, a sight that lingers in memory long after you leave. But Gdansk is not only about beauty, it is also about struggle and freedom. This is the city where World War II began. On September 1, 1939, German forces attacked the Polish garrison at Westerplatte, a small peninsula just outside Gdansk. Against overwhelming odds, the Polish soldiers held their ground for 7 days, writing a story of courage that still echoes today. Westerplatte is now a memorial site, a solemn reminder of how the darkest chapter of human history began right here on these shores. Decades later, Gdansk would again play a pivotal role in shaping history. In the 1980s, at the city's shipyards, a movement was born that would change not just Poland, but the entire world. Led by Lech Wałęsa, the Solidarity movement started as a workers' strike but grew into a peaceful revolution against communist rule. The shipyards became the birthplace of freedom, and Gdansk became a symbol of resistance. Visiting the European Solidarity Center today is a powerful experience. Its exhibits immerse you in the struggles and victories of ordinary people who dared to demand change, reminding us that courage and unity can reshape entire nations. Still, Gdansk is not all solemn history. It is also a place of light, joy, and wonder. St. Mary's Church, one of the largest brick churches in the world, towers over the city with its Gothic majesty. Inside, the sheer scale is breathtaking, and if you climb its tower, you are rewarded with panoramic views of the city's rooftops, the river, and the endless horizon of the Baltic Sea. Walking through the Long Market, you encounter Neptune's fountain, the symbol of Gdansk's connection to the sea. The square buzzes with life, where artists perform. Shops sell amber jewelry, the gold of the Baltic, and travelers mingle under the watchful gaze of grand townhouses. Amber is another treasure of Gdansk, as the city is considered the world capital of this fossilized resin. For centuries, merchants sold it across Europe, and today, you can still find exquisite amber art, jewelry, and sculptures in the shops along Mariaka Street. Strolling down this picturesque lane, with its stone terraces and lanterns, feels like stepping into a fairy tale. It is one of the most enchanting streets in all of Poland. And then there is the sea itself. Just a short ride from Gdansk lies the Baltic Coast, where sandy beaches stretch for miles. Sopot, with its famous wooden pier and lively atmosphere, offers a perfect seaside escape, while Gdynia adds modern flair with its bustling harbor and museums dedicated to Poland's maritime heritage. Together, Gdansk, Sopot, and Gdynia form the Tricity, a dynamic region where history, culture, and leisure blend seamlessly. What makes Gdansk unforgettable is its duality. It is a city of beauty and scars, of wealth and struggle, of trade and revolution. Every corner tells a story, some joyous, some painful, but all deeply meaningful. To visit Gdansk is to walk through the chapters of history that shaped not just Poland, but the entire world. As night falls, the old town glows with warm light, and the reflection of townhouses shimmers on the Motława River. People gather in restaurants, laughter fills the air, and music drifts through the streets. The city that once bore witness to wars and revolutions now celebrates freedom, peace, and life. Gdansk stands tall, not just as a city, but as a symbol, a reminder that no matter how turbulent history becomes, hope always returns like the tide. What if I told you there's a city in Poland that feels like it was lifted straight from a fairy tale? A place where hundreds of bridges connect charming islands, where Gothic towers rise above pastel-colored townhouses, and where tiny bronze dwarfs hide in plain sight, waiting to surprise you at every turn. This is Krakow, the city of bridges and dwarfs. A city that doesn't just impress with its architecture, but enchants with its whimsical character, blending history, resilience, and humor into an unforgettable experience. Krakow sits gracefully on the Oder River, spread across more than a dozen islands, all connected by over 120 bridges. It's no wonder many call it the Venice of Poland. As you walk along the riverbanks, the sight of cathedral spires reflecting on the water creates a scene so picturesque that it feels almost unreal. The heart of the city is the market square, one of the largest in Europe, bursting with vibrant colors and lively energy. Here, rows of pastel townhouses frame the square, while the Gothic Old Town Hall, with its intricate details and astronomical clock, stands proudly in the center. Sit at one of the outdoor cafes, and you'll feel the pulse of Krakow as street performers play music, locals gather with friends, and visitors gaze in awe at the beauty around them. But beyond its beauty, Krakow has a story of resilience. Throughout history, this city has shifted identities, once part of the Kingdom of Bohemia, later under Austrian rule, then German, and finally Polish after World War II. The city was almost completely destroyed in the war, yet it rose from the ashes with determination. Walking its streets today, you see a city that rebuilt itself brick by brick, determined not just to survive, but to thrive. This resilience is part of Krakow's soul, giving it a depth that makes every corner feel alive with history. Among the most enchanting spots is Ostrotumski, the oldest part of the city, where cobblestone streets lead you to the majestic Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. Step inside, and you'll be greeted by stunning Gothic interiors. But the real magic awaits if you climb its tower. From the top, the panorama stretches across the river and rooftops, offering a view that captures the essence of Krakow's beauty. At sunset, when the lamplighter appears to light the old-fashioned gas lamps by hand, one of the few traditions still alive in Europe, you feel like you've stepped back in time. Yet, Krakow isn't just about history. It's also playful, surprising, and uniquely charming, thanks to its army of dwarfs. Scattered throughout the city are more than 600 small bronze statues, each with its own personality. Some are climbing lampposts, others are sleeping on benches, and a few are even hard at work with laptops and cameras. What began as a symbol of resistance against communism in the 1980s has grown into one of Rockwall's most beloved traditions. Hunting for dwarfs has become a favorite activity for visitors, turning the city into a whimsical treasure hunt where laughter and discovery are guaranteed. Rockwall also has a vibrant cultural scene. Its Centennial Hall, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a masterpiece of early modern architecture and a venue for concerts, exhibitions, and major events. Just outside, the pergola fountain delights with spectacular water and light, shows that dance to music, drawing crowds who marvel at its beauty. And let's not forget Rockwall University, whose Baroque interiors are among the finest in Poland. The Ala Leopoldina, with its ornate frescoes and sculptures, leaves visitors speechless, while the university's tower offers yet another stunning view of the city. Food in Rockwall is another journey of discovery. The market hall, with its soaring arches, invites you to taste local flavors from pierogi stuffed with cheese and potatoes to oscypek cheese from the mountains, often served with cranberry jam. Along the riverside, modern restaurants blend Polish tradition with international influences, creating a culinary scene that's as diverse as the city's history. And of course, nothing pairs better with a hearty meal than Polish beer, with Rockwall being home to some excellent local breweries. As night falls, the city reveals yet another side of its personality. The bridges glow with soft lights, the old town square buzzes with nightlife, and the riverbanks fill with people enjoying the evening air. Whether you're wandering hand in hand through Ostro, Tumski, laughing as you spot yet another dwarf, or listening to music drifting across the square, Rockwall leaves you with the feeling that you've discovered a city both magical and deeply human. What makes Rockwall unforgettable is not just its beauty or history, it's the way it combines the two with a touch of whimsy. It's a city where grand Gothic cathedrals coexist with playful dwarfs, where tragedy and resilience are written into the walls, yet joy and humor thrive in its streets. Rockwall teaches us that cities, like people, are strongest when they rise from challenges with grace, creativity, and a little bit of mischief. By the time you leave, you'll realize Rockwall isn't just another stop on a journey through Poland. It's a storybook city that invites you to believe in magic, resilience, and the simple joy of discovery. Imagine a place where towering snow-capped peaks pierce the sky, wooden chalets glow with warmth, and horse-drawn sleighs glide through frosted valleys as the sound of Highland folk music drifts in the air. This is Zakopane, the winter capital of Poland, a destination where adventure meets tradition and where nature's raw beauty is matched only by the charm of its people. Whether you arrive in summer or winter, Zakopane and the surrounding Tatra Mountains will take your breath away and remind you what it means to truly escape into the wild. Zakopane sits at the foot of the majestic Tatra Mountains, the highest range in Poland and part of the Great Carpathian Chain. The Tatras aren't just hills or rolling countryside, they're dramatic, rugged peaks that seem to touch the heavens, drawing hikers, climbers, and skiers from across Europe. From the moment you set foot here, you feel the crisp mountain air, smell the scent of pine forests, and see the peaks glistening under the sun or snow, depending on the season. It's no wonder Zakopane has long been called the gateway to the Polish Alps. One of the most iconic spots in the Tatras is Morskie Oko, or Eye of the Sea, a lake so beautiful it almost defies belief. Surrounded by towering peaks and steep cliffs, its crystal clear waters reflect the sky in shades of emerald and sapphire. To reach it, you'll take a hike through forests and mountain paths. And when the view finally opens up, it's a moment you'll never forget. Legends say that the lake is connected by underground tunnels all the way to the Adriatic Sea, giving it a mysterious, almost magical reputation. Sitting by its shores, you feel an immense sense of peace, as though the world has slowed down just for you. But Zakopane isn't only about natural beauty, it's also a celebration of Polish Highland culture. The Goral people, the proud Highlanders of this region, have preserved their traditions for centuries. You see it in their wooden architecture, in their music and dance, and in their vibrant, embroidered costumes. Walking along Krupowski Street, the main promenade of Zakopane, you'll find shops selling handcrafted wooden goods, woolen clothes, and unique souvenirs made by local artisans. Street performers often play the violin or accordion, filling the air with melodies that feel both haunting and joyful. At night, traditional taverns known as karczmas come alive with folk music, hearty meals, and the warmth of Goral hospitality. And speaking of food, Zakopane is famous for one delicacy in particular, ossipek. This smoked sheep's cheese, often grilled and served with cranberry jam, is a taste of the mountains that you'll never forget. Pair it with a steaming bowl of kwasznaka, a local sauerkraut soup, and you'll feel like you've been welcomed straight into a Goral family home. Of course, adventure seekers find endless thrills here. In the winter months, Zakopane becomes a playground for skiing, snowboarding, and winter sports. Kasprawy Wierch, one of the highest peaks accessible by cable car, offers stunning slopes and panoramic views that stretch deep into Slovakia. For those who prefer a slower pace, horse-drawn sleigh rides through snow-covered valleys create an unforgettable fairy tale atmosphere, especially under a starlit sky. In summer, the Tatras transform into a paradise for hikers and climbers. Trails wind through valleys, forests, and alpine meadows, leading to breathtaking summits like Giewont, often called the Sleeping Knight because of its distinctive shape. Local legends say Giewont is a giant who will one day awaken to defend Poland, a story that adds to the mountain's mystical aura. What makes Zakopane even more unique is its wooden architecture, known as the Zakopane style. Developed in the 19th century by artist Stanisław Witkiewicz, this style blends local tradition with artistic elegance. The houses feature steep roofs, carved balconies, and decorative woodwork that give the town a distinctive character. Walking through neighborhoods filled with these chalets feels like stepping into a storybook, where every home has a soul carved into its beams. And then there's the atmosphere, the kind that makes you want to stay forever. On cold winter nights, smoke curls from chimneys, the streets glow with lantern light, and laughter spills from taverns where friends gather after a day in the mountains. In summer, wildflowers bloom across the meadows, hikers share stories on trails, and the setting sun casts golden light across the peaks. Zakopane has a rhythm all its own, a balance between adventure and relaxation, tradition and modern life, that makes every visitor feel part of something timeless. As you leave Zakopane and glance back at the mountains, you realize this isn't just another destination, it's a place that embodies the spirit of Poland itself. Strong, resilient, proud of its heritage, yet open and welcoming to those who come seeking beauty and peace. The Tatras remind us of the power of nature, while Zakopane shows us the power of tradition, culture, and community. Whether you came for the hiking, the skiing, the food, or simply the views, one thing is certain: Zakopane and the Tatra Mountains will leave you with memories that feel like a dream. A dream of wooden chalets, snow-dusted peaks, and music that carries through the mountain air long after you've gone. Close your eyes and imagine standing on the edge of the Baltic Sea, where salty winds carry whispers of history and colorful facades line cobblestone streets that have witnessed centuries of triumph, tragedy, and rebirth. This is Gdansk, a city unlike any other in Poland, a place where Gothic towers rise above golden gates, where the smell of the sea mingles with the scent of fresh bread, and where every corner tells a story of resilience and renewal. Gdansk is not just a city, it's a gateway, a symbol, and a living museum of Europe's ever-changing tides. Gdansk has always been a city of the sea, a thriving port that once formed part of the powerful Hanseatic League. In the Middle Ages, it was one of Europe's most important trade hubs, linking merchants from Scandinavia, Germany, and beyond. Amber, the Baltic gold, was shipped from its shores to royal courts across the continent, while spices, fabrics, and exotic goods arrived from distant lands. This cosmopolitan heritage gave Gdańsk a character unlike any other Polish city, a blend of cultures, influences, and styles that still radiates through its streets today. The heart of Gdańsk is its magnificent main town, rebuilt with extraordinary care after the devastation of World War II. Walking down Długi Targ, or Long Market, feels like entering a fairy tale. The street is framed by colorful, narrow houses topped with ornate gables, each one painted in soft pastels or rich, bold hues. At its center stands the iconic Neptune fountain, a symbol of Gdańsk's eternal connection to the sea. Nearby, the Gothic-style town hall rises with its tall spire, a reminder of the city's former wealth and independence. By day, the square bustles with locals and travelers, but by night, as the street lamps flicker on, the entire area glows with golden light, creating a truly magical atmosphere. Another jewel of Gdańsk is the Green Gate, one of the grand entrances to the city's main town. With its four arched passageways and Renaissance-style facade, it once served as a ceremonial residence for visiting royalty. Today, it stands as a gateway not just in stone, but symbolically inviting travelers to step into Gdańsk's story of beauty and resilience. Just a short walk away lies the city's most monumental landmark, St. Mary's Church, the largest brick church in the world. Its massive red brick walls dominate the skyline, while inside, soaring vaults and delicate stained glass create a sense of awe. Climb the church tower over 400 steps and you'll be rewarded with panoramic views stretching across the city, the Motława River, and the sparkling Baltic Sea beyond. It's a climb worth every breath, offering a view that truly captures the soul of this maritime city. But Gdańsk is not only about medieval grandeur, it's also about survival and renewal. Few cities in the world embody resilience as Gdańsk does. During World War II, it was almost entirely destroyed, reduced to rubble and ashes. Yet, against all odds, the people of Poland painstakingly rebuilt it stone by stone, house by house, recreating the glory of its past with extraordinary dedication. Today, when you walk its streets, you're not just seeing buildings, you're seeing a story of hope and determination. A city reborn from the ruins of war. Gdańsk is also a city of revolution. It was here, in the shipyards, that the Solidarity movement was born, a movement that challenged communist rule and eventually helped bring freedom to Poland and much of Eastern Europe. The European Solidarity Center now stands as a testament to this legacy, with modern exhibits that bring to life the courage of ordinary workers who changed the course of history. Standing in this museum, you feel the weight of their struggle and the triumph of their victory. It's an experience that makes Gdańsk not just a travel destination, but a place of inspiration. And then, of course, there is the waterfront. Strolling along the Motława River, you'll pass charming cafes, historic granaries, and the famous medieval crane, a massive wooden port crane that once lifted goods from ships and stands today as a symbol of the city's maritime heritage. The river sparkles in the sunlight, while small boats glide by, reminding you that Gdańsk is forever tied to the sea. Stop at one of the riverside restaurants and enjoy fresh fish, or try pierogi filled with seafood, a local specialty that blends Poland's flavors with the bounty of the Baltic. Gdańsk is also the world capital of amber. Jewelers across the city showcase dazzling pieces of this fossilized resin, each one unique, glowing in shades of honey, gold, or deep red. Legend says amber is the tears of a goddess mourning her lost love, and holding a piece in your hand feels like holding a fragment of the sea's eternal memory. Whether you buy a simple pendant or admire the displays in the Amber Museum, you'll carry with you a piece of Gdańsk's soul. What makes Gdańsk truly remarkable is its atmosphere. It's a city where old and new, tragedy and triumph constantly intertwine. You can sip coffee in a cozy cafe, watch the sunset over the river, and just a few steps away, touch centuries-old bricks that have witnessed the rise and fall of empires. It's a city where resilience isn't just history. It's a living spirit that breathes through its streets, its people, and its stories. As you leave Gdansk, perhaps taking one last walk along the Long Market or gazing out at the Baltic Sea, you'll realize this is not just another stop on a journey. Gdansk is a lesson in endurance, a celebration of beauty, and a reminder that even after the darkest storms, a city and its people can rise again, stronger and more radiant than before. Picture this, a landscape of endless shimmering waters, dotted with green islands and framed by dense pine forests. The air is crisp and fresh, filled with the sound of birdsong and the gentle splash of waves against wooden boats. This is Mazary, the land of 1,000 lakes, one of Poland's most enchanting natural treasures. If you think paradise exists only on tropical beaches, Mazary will prove you wrong. It is a paradise of another kind, untamed, serene, and overflowing with natural beauty that calms the soul and stirs the spirit of adventure. The Mazary region, located in northeastern Poland, is often called the green lungs of the country. It is home to over 2,000 lakes, interconnected by rivers and canals that create a vast aquatic labyrinth unlike anywhere else in Europe. These waters were carved thousands of years ago by retreating glaciers, leaving behind a breathtaking mosaic of lakes, rolling hills, and fertile valleys. Today, Mazary is a haven for travelers who crave both relaxation and adventure. A place where you can drift on quiet waters one moment and hike through wild forests the next. One of the region's greatest charms is its sheer variety. Some lakes are vast and open, stretching as far as the eye can see, while others are hidden gems, small, secluded, and surrounded by thick woods. The largest lakes, such as Śnierdwy and Mamry, feel almost like inland seas. Śnierdwy, in particular, covers an area of more than 100 square kilometers, its sparkling surface constantly shifting with the wind. Standing on its shores, with sailboats gliding across the horizon, you realize why Mazary has become one of Europe's sailing capitals. In fact, sailing is at the heart of the Mazary experience. Every summer, the lakes come alive with boats of all shapes and sizes, from sleek yachts to small wooden vessels steered by locals. Entire families set out on week-long sailing trips, hopping from one lake to another, anchoring in tiny harbors, and sharing stories by campfires under star-filled skies. The Great Mazurian Lakes Trail, a 120-kilometer route that links many of the region's most beautiful waters, is a dream for sailors and kayakers alike. It is more than just a route, it is a journey through landscapes, so peaceful that time itself seems to slow down. But Mazary isn't only for those who love the water. The land here is equally captivating. Vast forests stretch across the region, offering hiking and cycling trails that wind through ancient trees, hidden clearings, and meadows filled with wildflowers. The Biebsa and Naru marshlands are birdwatchers' paradises, home to rare species such as white-tailed eagles, cranes, and even the elusive black stork. In summer, the forests hum with life, while in autumn, they burst into fiery shades of red and gold, turning the entire landscape into a living painting. For history lovers, Mazary holds secrets of its own. Scattered across the region are ruins of old castles, built by the Teutonic knight who once ruled this land. The most famous site, however, is the Wolf's Lair, Adolf Hitler's hidden military headquarters during World War II. Nestled deep in the forest near Kentrin, the ruins of bunkers and fortified walls still stand, silent witnesses to a dark chapter of history. Walking through the moss-covered remains, you can feel the eerie weight of the past, a stark contrast to the tranquility that surrounds it today. And then there are the villages. Small, picturesque towns like Jeziko and Mikołajki serve as gateways to the lakes, filled with colorful marinas, cozy cafes, and traditional Polish taverns. Here you can taste the flavors of Mazary freshly caught fish, smoked eel, pierogi stuffed with wild mushrooms, and local honey that captures the sweetness of the region's meadows. Life in these towns moves at a slower pace, inviting visitors to sit back, relax, and let the rhythm of the lakes seep into their souls. Mazary is also a place where legends linger. Local folklore speaks of water spirits, enchanted islands, and treasures hidden beneath the waves. Some say the lakes are bottomless, their depths holding mysteries never uncovered. Whether or not you believe in these tales, there's no denying that Mazri carries a certain magic, an energy that makes you feel connected to the natural world in ways that are rare in modern life. Perhaps what makes Mazri so unforgettable is the sense of freedom it gives you. Here, you are not bound by city noise or daily routines. Instead, you wake to the sound of loons calling across the water. You spend your days exploring hidden coves or drifting with the wind, and you end your evenings by a fire, with stars so bright they feel close enough to touch. Mazri offers not just a destination but a retreat for the soul, a chance to rediscover what it means to slow down and truly live. Leaving Mazri, you carry with you more than memories, you carry peace. It's the kind of place that stays with you long after you've gone, a reminder of how beautiful, pure, and healing the natural world can be. The land of 1,000 lakes is more than a region in Poland. It's a sanctuary, a refuge, and a wonder that every traveler should experience at least once in their lifetime. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine stepping into a forest so ancient, so untouched, that it feels like you've traveled back in time to the dawn of the world. The air is heavy with the scent of moss and pine, the ground soft beneath your feet, and towering trees stretch endlessly toward the sky, their roots twisting like the veins of the earth itself. This is Białowieża Forest, one of the last remaining primeval forests in Europe, a place where nature still rules, wild and free, as it has for thousands of years. Located on the border between Poland and Belarus, Białowieża is not just a forest. It is a living time capsule, a remnant of the immense woodlands that once covered much of the European continent. Today, it stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a biosphere reserve, celebrated for its extraordinary biodiversity and its role as the last refuge of Europe's largest land mammal, the majestic European bison, or zebra. Walking into Białowieża is not like entering any other forest. Here, every step carries you deeper into a world where humans are merely guests and nature has the final say. The heart of Białowieża's mystery lies in its ancient trees. Some oaks, pines, and ash trees are more than 500 years old, their massive trunks thick with moss and fungi. They stand like guardians of forgotten centuries, whispering stories of storms, seasons, and civilizations that rose and fell while they endured. The forest floor is equally alive, a tangled carpet of ferns, fallen branches, and decaying logs that provide nutrients for new life to flourish. It is a place of constant rebirth, where life and death exist in perfect balance. But what truly sets Białowieża apart is its wildlife. The forest is home to more than 12 species of animals, from insects to large mammals. Most famously, it shelters around 800 European bison, the continent's heaviest land animals. Once on the brink of extinction, these giants were reintroduced to the forest in the 20th century after careful conservation efforts. Today, encountering a bison in the wild is a humbling experience. Standing nearly 2 meters tall and weighing up to a ton, they embody both power and resilience, yet move with a quiet grace that seems almost otherworldly. Beyond the bison, the forest is alive with other creatures: wolves that roam in silent packs, lynxes that slip like shadows between trees, and red deer that leap gracefully through meadows at dawn. Birds fill the air with song, including rare species like the white-backed woodpecker and the pygmy owl, one of the smallest owls in Europe. Every rustle, every distant call reminds you that this is not a forest tamed by man, but one where wildness still thrives. For visitors, exploring Białowieża is a journey through layers of history and ecology. The Białowieża National Park offers guided tours into the strictly protected core zone, where access is limited to preserve its delicate balance. Here, paths wind through dense groves, fallen logs block your way, and light filters in golden shafts through the canopy above. Walking silently, you feel like an intruder in a cathedral of nature, where every sound, whether it's the crack of a twig or the cry of a bird, feels amplified and sacred. But the forest also tells human stories. For centuries, Białowieża was a royal hunting ground, reserved for Polish kings and later Russian czars. The village of Białowieża still holds echoes of that past, with wooden cottages, small museums, and a palace park built in the 19th century. Yet today, the emphasis is not on conquering nature but on coexisting with it. Local communities have embraced ecotourism, offering opportunities for visitors to explore the forest responsibly, whether on foot, by bicycle, or on horse-drawn carts that gently glide through the trees. One of the most magical experiences in Białowieża is visiting during winter. The forest transforms into a frozen wonderland, with snow blanketing the ground and icicles clinging to branches. In this silence, the sight of a bison moving through the mist feels like stepping into a legend. In summer, by contrast, the forest bursts with green, alive with buzzing insects, blooming wildflowers, and the constant chorus of birdsong. Each season brings its own beauty, reminding you that Białowieża is a world that never stops changing. Perhaps the greatest gift of Białowieża is the perspective it offers. In a world increasingly shaped by human hands, this forest stands as proof of what the earth was like before cities, before machines, before roads cut across landscapes. It is a place where you are reminded of your place in the grand story of life, small, fleeting, but connected to something far greater. Standing beneath the canopy of ancient trees, you cannot help but feel humbled, awed, and deeply moved. Białowieża Forest is not just a destination. It is a lesson in resilience, a sanctuary for life, and a reminder of the importance of protecting the natural world. To walk among its towering trees, to breathe its clean air, and to witness its wild inhabitants is to experience Europe as it once was, in its purest and most powerful form. This is not just Poland's treasure, it is humanity's treasure, a living wonder that continues to inspire all who are fortunate enough to enter its timeless embrace. Imagine descending deep beneath the surface of the earth, leaving behind the sunlight, the trees, and the familiar sound of life above. As you step further down, you find yourself entering a hidden kingdom carved entirely out of salt, a world where glistening crystals form walls, ceilings, sculptures, and even entire chapels. This is not fantasy. This is the Wieliczka salt mine, one of Poland's most astonishing wonders and a UNESCO World Heritage Site that has been captivating visitors for centuries. Located just outside Krakow, the Wieliczka salt mine is more than 700 years old and stretches for over 287 kilometers of tunnels and chambers, though only a small portion is open to visitors. As you descend the winding staircases, you step into an underground labyrinth that feels otherworldly. The salty air clings to your skin, the dim light sparkles off the crystalline walls, and each chamber reveals something more breathtaking than the last. This is a place where human creativity and natural beauty merge in extraordinary harmony. The mine's history begins in the 13th century, when salt was one of the most valuable resources in the world, so precious. It was sometimes called white gold. Wieliczka became one of the key suppliers of this vital mineral, providing Poland with immense wealth and prosperity. Generations of miners worked here, chiseling away at the rock salt to feed Europe's insatiable demand. But the story of Wieliczka is not just about labor and trade, it's about artistry, devotion, and a profound respect for the material that sustained life. As you explore the mine, you discover vast caverns, shimmering lakes, and incredible works of art carved directly into the salt. The most famous of these is the Chapel of St. Kinga, a subterranean masterpiece that must be seen to be believed. Imagine standing inside a church 100 meters below the Earth's surface, with walls, floors, and altars all made entirely of salt. Even the chandeliers are crafted from salt crystals, polished until they sparkle like diamonds. The chapel is adorned with intricate carvings of biblical scenes, including a stunning rendition of The Last Supper, all sculpted by the very miners who toiled here centuries ago. It is not just a place of worship, it is a testament to faith, resilience, and the ability of the human spirit to create beauty even in the most unlikely places. But the wonders don't stop there. As you move deeper into Wieliczka, You encounter underground salt lakes that shimmer with an eerie glow. Their surfaces are so still they look like mirrors, reflecting the carved ceilings above. The air here is unusually pure, filled with minerals, and many believe it has healing properties. In fact, parts of the mine are used as underground health resorts, where people come to breathe the salty air as therapy for respiratory conditions. Imagine spending the night in a quiet chamber, surrounded by silence, salt, and history. It's unlike anything else in the world. Every corridor tells a story. Some chambers house statues of Polish kings, saints, and mythical figures, all sculpted from salt. Others display mining tools, wooden supports, and remnants of the centuries-long struggle to extract this precious resource. Walking these tunnels, you gain a sense of the miners' daily lives, the dangers they faced, the dedication they showed, and the legacy they left behind. For them, the mine was more than work. It was a community, a livelihood, and even a spiritual space. And then there's the atmosphere. Unlike most dark and oppressive underground spaces, Wieliczka feels alive, welcoming, almost magical. The light bounces gently off the salt crystals, creating a glow that seems both mysterious and serene. The air is cool but fresh, the silence broken only by the echo of footsteps or the drip of water somewhere deep in the rock. For centuries, this mine was a hidden world, known only to the miners. Today, it is a wonder that anyone can experience, a bridge between Poland's past and present. The mine has also inspired countless legends. One of the most famous is that of Saint Kinga, the patron saint of miners. According to legend, Kinga, a Hungarian princess, threw her engagement ring into a salt mine in Hungary before traveling to Poland. When miners began digging in Wieliczka, they discovered not only salt but also her ring, miraculously embedded in a block of white crystal. This story is immortalized in the chapel of Saint Kinga, where her statue. Visiting Wieliczka today is more than just sightseeing. It is an immersive journey into Poland's soul, blending history, faith, art, and geology. Guided tours take you through narrow tunnels, vast caverns, and breathtaking halls, each more spectacular than the last. Some areas even host concerts and cultural events, their acoustics enhanced by the natural properties of the salt walls. Imagine listening to music echoing through a cathedral of salt, every note amplified by centuries of human history. Wieliczka is not just a mine, it is a world beneath a world, a reminder that beauty can be found in the most unexpected places. It shows us the resilience of the human spirit, the value of nature's gifts, and the magic of creativity. Standing inside its glittering chambers, you can't help but feel small, awed, and deeply connected to the generations who carved this wonder from the depths of the earth. This is more than Poland's treasure. It is a global treasure, a timeless monument to the harmony between humankind and nature, where every tunnel, every carving, and every crystal tells a story of survival, devotion, and beauty. To step into Wieliczka is to step into another world, a world you will never forget. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the sound of waves crashing against a sandy shore, the salty breeze filling the air, and the call of seabirds circling above. Now picture wide stretches of golden beaches, quaint fishing villages, and charming seaside resorts that feel untouched by time. This is not the Mediterranean, nor the Caribbean. This is Poland's Baltic Coast, one of the country's most breathtaking yet underrated treasures. For centuries, the Baltic Sea has been Poland's northern gateway to the world, a place of trade, culture, history, and natural beauty. And today, it is a destination that offers something truly magical, a perfect blend of relaxation, exploration, and discovery. The Baltic coast stretches for nearly 500 kilometers, lined with sandy dunes, pine forests, and lively coastal towns. Its beaches are surprisingly wide and soft, rivaling those of southern Europe, but with a calmer, more serene charm. What makes this coastline truly special is not just its natural beauty, but its variety. Every stretch of shore tells a different story. Some beaches feel wild and untouched, ideal for long walks and quiet reflection, while others buzz with life, filled with tourists, cafes, and vibrant nightlife. The Baltic Sea may not be warm year-round, but what it lacks in tropical heat, it makes up for with atmosphere, history, and culture. One of the jewels of the coast is the Tri-City area, Gdansk, Gdynia, and Sopot. Together, they form a cultural and economic hub that offers everything a traveler could want. Gdansk, with its medieval architecture, Gothic churches, and colorful merchant houses, feels like stepping into a living history book. Once a powerful member of the Hanseatic League, Gdansk was a center of trade and politics for centuries. Its old town is a maze of cobbled streets, ornate facades, and the famous Long Market, where history and modern life merge seamlessly. Standing beneath the towering Gothic St. Frice, Mary's Church, or strolling along the Motwawa River, it's easy to understand why Gdansk is often called one of Europe's most beautiful cities. A short train ride away lies Sopot, Poland's most famous seaside resort, known for its long, sandy beach, vibrant nightlife, and the iconic wooden pier, the longest of its kind in Europe. Sopot is where locals and visitors alike come to relax and enjoy the sea. Its atmosphere is lively yet refined, offering everything from elegant spas to bustling cafes. Walking down Monte Cassino Street, the town's main promenade, you're greeted by music, laughter, and the scent of fresh seafood wafting through the air. At night, Sopot transforms into one of the hottest spots on the Baltic, with music clubs and beach parties that last until sunrise. Then there's Gdynia, the youngest of the three cities, with a more modern vibe. Built largely in the 20th century, Gdynia boasts sleek architecture, a thriving port, and a fresh, youthful energy. It's a place where Poland looks to the future while still holding onto its maritime traditions. The city hosts annual film and music festivals, along with tall ship gatherings that bring sailing vessels from around the world to its harbor. Standing on Gdynia's seaside promenade, you can watch the sun set over the Baltic and feel the heartbeat of a modern, thriving Poland. Beyond the Tri-City, the coast holds countless gems waiting to be discovered. The Słowinski National Park, with its shifting sand dunes, feels almost like a desert by the sea. These dunes, some as high as 40 meters, are constantly reshaped by the wind, creating an ever-changing landscape that looks like something from another world. Walking here, surrounded by rolling sands and the endless blue of the sea, you begin to understand why this place is often called the Polish Sahara. Farther east lies the Hel Peninsula, a narrow strip of land stretching into the sea like a delicate finger. Just a few hundred meters wide in some places, it offers beaches on both sides, one facing the calm bay, perfect for water sports, and the other open to the wilder Baltic waves. Hel is also home to charming fishing villages, lighthouses, and even a seal sanctuary, making it a destination that combines relaxation with education and exploration. But the Baltic coast is not only about beaches and resorts, it is also about history and resilience. The seaside town of Westerplatte, near Gdańsk, holds a special place in Poland's story. It was here, on September 1939, that the first shots of World War II were fired. Today, Westerplatte is a solemn memorial site where visitors can reflect on the past and pay tribute to the defenders who bravely resisted overwhelming forces at the dawn of the war. It is a reminder that this beautiful coastline has not only been a place of leisure, but also a stage for some of Europe's most significant events. And then there's the food. The Baltic coast is a paradise for seafood lovers. Freshly caught fish, smoked herring, fried cod, and delicious soups are served in traditional seaside taverns, often just steps from the water. Imagine sitting in a small wooden restaurant by the beach, the sea breeze mixing with the smell of smoked fish, as you enjoy a meal that tastes of both tradition and freshness. Pair it with a local beer or a shot of Polish vodka, and you have a culinary experience that is as authentic as it is unforgettable. What truly makes the Baltic coast so captivating is its balance. Here, You can spend the morning exploring centuries-old architecture in Gdansk, the afternoon relaxing on a sandy beach in Sopot, and the evening enjoying fresh seafood in a quiet fishing village. You can walk through national parks filled with wildlife, climb lighthouses for breathtaking views, or simply sit on the shore and watch the waves roll in endlessly. The Baltic coast of Poland is more than just a destination, it is an experience of contrasts and harmony. It is a place where history meets modernity, where wild nature meets lively resorts, and where relaxation meets adventure. Standing on its shores, gazing at the horizon where the sea meets the sky, you feel a sense of freedom and timelessness. Poland's seaside is a hidden gem in Europe, often overlooked but unforgettable for those who discover it. Whether you come for the culture, the nature, the history, or simply the peace of the waves, the Baltic coast offers something rare, a chance to escape, to connect, and to experience beauty in its purest form. And once you've walked its sandy shores and felt the Baltic breeze on your face, you'll carry the memory of Poland's seaside paradise with you forever. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.